A shaman rose among the tribes of the West. Her power was immense, and she claimed to be a prophet of the black goat of the woods, an elder goddess which goblins worshipped in ages past. The war party of the goat crossed the Kern Mountains through one of its many passes and down into the elven forest of Sila Thalor. The hierarchy of Hildrak has become very unstable, and the remaining outcasts and tribes of goblinoids look to fill the power vacuum left behind. It's autumn, and the tundra of Hildrak will soon be covered in snow, and the time to strike is now. The Stormtalon tribe, consisting mostly of hunters, gatherers, and raiders, the tribe's elders look to Gulgag, their bugbear raid leader. The elders gather and discuss how they can best manipulate the war party's departures and targets. The bones of a great and ancient bird lay half buried outside the walls of the Stormtalons camp. Most of the skeletal remains are buried. This was once some mighty bird with a wingspan close to 200 feet. Now only about half of it is emerged from the dirt. The goblins have inscribed their heroes' names and great deeds on these bones, and many goblins use the bones as a place to pray to their spirits. So it's dawn. Dawn meaning the beginning of night. The sun takes a little longer to go down up here in the tundra in Hildrak than, say, other places in the world. And there's sort of a grayness over the camp. Everyone's just starting to stir. Rutabaga, the goblin warrior, stands guard in his tower with another goblin named Ruck. And Ruck is a bit of a noob and not very proficient at anything, but he is your sidekick up in that tower. Meanwhile, outside the walls, Zhulzuk, the Hobgoblin, kneels at the bones, lost in thought and quiet contemplation. No one else is outside the camp, as far as you know right now. You're alone and in solitude. The gates are probably about 200 yards from where you currently are, and the wall is much closer though. The gate is further away, but the wooden palisade that wraps around the camp is maybe a quarter that distance, maybe 50 yards or so from where Zhulzuk currently is. Chirp is cleaning two of the caribou corpses that have recently been brought in by the hunters of the tribe. He crouches over them. He's up earlier than the rest and finishing off, taking off their hides and skins for the leather workers to try to make into something useful for the tribe. More than likely, tents. This is not really the stuff that armor is made out of. So with winter coming, extra flaps and that will have to be wrapped over the tents. And Granny Muck lies sleeping in the elder tent quietly, as do a number of other goblin elders. What happens next takes you all a little bit by surprise. There is a lone party of maybe about 12 goblins led by a hobgoblin, and they approach the gate. Chirp is not aware, obviously, but Rutabaga from his tower can see them. And there's some conversation back and forth between the guard at the gate and this group of goblins. Doesn't come across as too unusual. There's a lot of stragglers since the goat has taken her war party over the mountains. A lot of tribes were left with not enough warriors or hunters to function anymore, and then they sort of become nomads. So at first you think maybe that this is just part of something like that, but that soon gets sort of washed from your mind as you start to see on the horizon dark shapes approaching. And as the sun is going down and it's getting darker and your night vision's starting to adjust, you can tell that there's lots coming. That this 12 is a predecessor of more as they move up a very steep hill towards the Stormtalon tribe's encampment. Does Rutabaga want to do anything?
Does Rutabaga usually have any kind of protocol for what we would do?
Well, normally an alarm would be sound.
Yeah.
If you thought there was danger.
Yeah.
But the front gates have not sounded the alarm. So you have a feeling that they know whoever
is down
at the front gate. Unfortunately, your tower is further back along the wall.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the bones from where you are, and you can probably see Zhulzuk kneeling out by them. But you don't have a good look. You have kind of a blind spot as the wall wraps around to where the gate is, sort of what's going on there. But you can definitely see like a few guards on your side of the gate sort of looking over, and there is some sort of conversation going back and forth.
I think Rutabaga is going to ask, can he communicate with the guards that are lower on the gate looking over?
There's not too many people around. You can probably shout to the next tower.
Yeah.
There's maybe 2 more towers before the gate. Ruck is looking very curious.
Yeah.
He doesn't look concerned. He thinks he's just sort of watching and rubbing his hands and waiting for you to take the lead.
Yeah.
He's not willing to make a call on this.
I think I'm going to tell Ruck. I'll say, Ruck, I need you to stay here. I'm going to go down and find out what's going down.
Stay by myself?
By yourself, Ruck. This is what we do.
This is what we do.
This is what we do.
And he tries to steal himself, but you can see right through it. He's trying to look tough.
He's trying to look tough?
It's not happening, though.
What is happening?
Puddle is for me.
He's not that broken.
Yeah.
He's not that broken. Do you leave him?
I'm going to say, Ruck, if I leave you, are you going to be okay?
Yes. This is what we do.
This is what we do.
Yes.
Now, I need you to keep an eye on the horizon. All those shadowy figures that look so curious.
Yes.
And if anything happens, you sound the alarm. Anything...
He reaches for there's a horn in each tower, and he reaches for that horn. It's probably made of an old ram's horn from the mountain somewhere, and he like holds it almost white-knuckled on it.
Yeah.
Yes. The horn!
Anything suspicious.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
I can do this.
I entrust
This
you.
is what we do.
Yes, Ruck.
Zhulzuk probably can notice now that there is a large party of humanoids approaching.
Humanoids?
You can't tell at this range what they are.
Can I see the band that's up towards the door? Or
You can't. You're in a blind spot as well because the gate's sort of around.
can I move to like kind of the spot where I can have advantage to kind of see that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to do that.
Okay, so you break off whatever you're doing at the bones and you start to move for the front gate. As you do that, things become very clear to Zhulzuk very quickly. There is a party of goblins at the gate. Definitely a hobgoblin with them.
Okay.
They are not particularly well armed. They don't seem to have armor. They don't seem to have weapons.
Okay.
And they are sort of looking at the guard and talking. Again, you're not close enough, unfortunately, to hear what they're saying.
Okay.
When you look out, though, as those shapes are getting closer, you're pretty sure that you can see. If you had hazard a guess. There's definitely goblins and hobgoblins approaching, and they have at least a line of wargs leading their way.
Are they mounted on them?
No.
Okay, and is there any insignia or anything on the group?
Make a perception check.
Oh, wait. Get it on camera.
First roll of the game.
Yeah.
I got this.
First roll.
Go for it.
Here comes a 1. It's going to be a 1.
Oh, 17?
17, that's good.
Hold on. 20.
20. So you can definitely make out a banner. It's not up at the front ranks, it's maybe a few ranks back, but you can see the banner of the Cracked Fangs.
And can Rutabaga... Oh, she dropped down, right?
Yeah, you sort of look to the tower. Your friend Rutabaga is in the tower. You look to the tower. He is no longer there.
And I see Dummy up there?
You see Ruck up there, and he's like...
So I look up to, like, signal something and see him, like... Is there any other tower? Or, like, I'm like...
There's other towers.
I'm on alert now.
There's other towers, and you can see that on each tower, the goblins have spotted this incoming. Like, your tribe mates have see it incoming.
And the group that's approaching...
Yep.
Just by being kind of militaristic in background for our tribe, can I tell whether these goblins and this hobgoblin are like something to be worried about, or do they look like
the ones that are actually at the gate?
Yeah, do they look like fodder?
They're peculiar to you. Like they you don't know why they would have been sent up like that. If they're even part. The size of the goblin force that's coming up the hill towards your encampment, you're pretty sure would probably frighten a small group of nomads. Maybe that's what it is, that they're sort of like someone who...
I'll look up to, is it Ruck?
Ruck, yeah, he's the closest.
And, like, tell him to blow the horn.
He looks down at you and he says, "It's okay!
Blow the horn, idiot.
Rutabaga has gone to check it! This is what we do!"
I'll talk to you after. And I'll walk towards the gate.
Okay, so you start walking towards the gate. What does Rutabaga do? She's down. He's down off his tower.
So he's approaching the front gate from the inside, right?
Is that what you do?
Yep.
Okay. So it takes you a few minutes. You get to the gate.
Yep.
And they're calling down to him, to whoever's on the other side. Mm-hmm. Give us a moment. We're not allowed to open the gate without the elders. I'm not getting in trouble again for this.
Okay. So I'm starting to piece it together. What's going on? They're asking for entry.
And you seem to recall not too long ago, they opened the gates for a bunch of goblins that were looking for shelter. Those goblins in the minds of the Stormtalons ate too much. They were killed for it.
Yeah.
Because, from that point forward, that once the gates close, they only open once an elder says, "Open the gate." Open the gate. So you have a feeling
I'm going to need
they probably sent a runner to the elder tent.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll still go towards the gate then.
Okay.
If that's like, if Rutabaga thinks that's what they're going to be doing, then I'll just proceed as he was towards the gate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do that. You head. Are you going to climb up the backside of the gate to look over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scope it out.
You're yelling at Ruck. Maybe Chirp has started to notice that there's something up. Maybe someone's here. He's sort of back deeper in the camp. Someone's at the gate.
If he's not going to sound the alarm, I'm going to cast Minor Illusion and make the sound of the alarm so that people get to the wall and get ready to defend.
Okay. So, as that happens sort of simultaneously, Rutabaga reaches sort of the top rung of the ladder and pulls himself up to look over the wall. You sort of cast your minor illusion
on him, like from where he's
from his tower to let off that horn sound.
Oh yeah.
At the same time, there's one at first. There's like this little pop of light, a second pop of light, and then a third pop of light from this approaching. And then these great balls of fire come roiling over the tops of the front ranks.
Uh-oh.
And then they hit those front walls, and they don't actually bring the walls down, but they ignite them with fire, like just a wall of flame across. And let's have Rutabaga make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Just let me load up here.
This is what we do, idiot.
So
the horn does go off.
Yeah,
the horn does go off.
Oh boy. Oh boy. So it's 3, and I think my dex is +3.
+3?
Yeah.
Okay, so the force of those, whatever those were, hitting the walls, you get this flash of heat just rush by you, and you lose your handholds on that top rung of the ladder and fall. Okay, so you fall up. You fall, unfortunately, 30 feet.
Mochi mochi.
Now, fortunately, there is supplies and things on the ground, so I'm only going to do half damage as sort of some bags and
corn,
whatever it is, food supplies that have been raided.
Yeah.
So Rutabaga takes 6 points of damage. Had those not been there, that might have been a horrible
death,
horrible fall.
Flat goblin.
And at which point, like, anyone who's awake is now scattering. So what we'll do is we're going to roll initiative just to sort of keep people in an order of taking turns. And so go ahead and roll your initiative. Even Granny, though she's still asleep.
Do you want modifiers on this, or just turn?
Put your modifiers on. Wow. So anybody above a 20? Anybody above a 15?
I have 15 flat.
And what's
I have an 18.
Okay.
12 for Granny.
12 for Granny and
9 for Rutabaga.
9. Well, Rutabaga's got the wind knocked out of him.
He's
That's
a little
the
messed
problem.
up.
So what happens next after that huge explosion? There is the howl of warg wolves as the wargs begin their charge. If Zuck had to make a guess, there's at least 24 of them. There could be 3 times that in goblins and hobgoblins following up behind them.
That's a lot.
So it's my turn, I guess.
It is your turn.
I am going to peel around. Is there another entrance to get in?
You do know sort of a back entrance.
I'm headed that way.
It doesn't actually go through the gates. You'll have to go up into the mountains a bit and then back down into camp. Because if you imagine that there's sort of a hollow and the walls sort of cup in that hollow, and then but you can get up and over by going up through the mountains. So
double time.
Okay, so you just haul that in that direction. Perfect.
Before I move, can I Eldritch Blast one of the people at the door?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, just run for it?
Yep. So make a check on that. Hobgoblin or goblins?
Who's the one talking?
Looks like the hobgoblin.
Him.
Okay.
Her. Whoever. Alright, Eldritch Blast. 18 plus, that's Dex, right?
Yeah.
15.
15?
Yeah.
So he or she definitely falls down into the dirt, like takes that hit and falls down. And you can see the goblins are quick to rush over to that body and like they're mauling at it. It's like it's almost like you've brought down a fresh kill or something in the center of wolves. They just kind of descend on it. You can't tell at this range what they're doing, but they're all over that body.
You hit it? It's dead?
What's that? It looks dead.
So I roll damage, right? Okay.
You can roll damage still.
Yeah. Sure, 4 damage.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, you hit it and it goes down, and then they're on it.
Wow.
But you can't tell if they're attacking it or what they're doing.
Okay. Well, I'm off.
Okay, so you're hightailing it. Chirp. What does Chirp want to do? Chirp has definitely seen the flames burst up over the front wall.
Do I hear the Wolfie boys coming?
You can hear wargs.
All right.
Your tribe does not have any wargs.
Do we have hunting dogs?
Wargs are you probably have some hunting dogs, sort of like mastiffs around. But wargs, remember, wargs are not like they have their own language, and they are particularly malicious.
Okay.
Okay. So hearing their howls and knowing that there's wargs on the way, Chirp is not real happy probably about that.
Okay. Just in the kind of post-hunting area or whatever, if I can see any like caged up dogs, anything that we would hunt with, I'm gonna take my sword. I'm just gonna cut the chain open, cut the cage open, let out a high-pitched whistle to like all the other hunters around me. We're gonna start booking it for the front gate.
Okay, so you start making those yells, and there are a few hunters. They sort of grab their bows, their spears, and you and I'll say 3 other goblins are making your way to the gate. And now we're on to Granny. So Granny can make Granny's passive perception is not high enough that she's heard anything yet.
Are you sure with a minor illusion horn and fireballs?
Yes.
Okay.
But you can make a perception check to see if she just happens to be waking up.
Not even the worst thing she's woken up to.
Probably not. 16.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
So she's lying comfortably beneath her fur, and maybe somebody in the tent, the elder tent, you hear like let out some sort of a curse, and then you hear the howls on the wind.
Inside and outside, I would assume, because of the noise. Okay. And Granny goes, Well, gets up, looks out of the tent.
So as you look out of the tent, Gulgag is there with 2 goblin henchmen. Gulgag is an impressive-looking bugbear, and he's headed to the elder tent. And as you open the flap, he says, "You best stay inside, Granny. It's not looking good."
Will it be better if I stay inside? I'm not listening to you, and I walk past him.
And with that, he steps in front of you. And the 2 goblins take up flanks on you. Go inside, Granny.
Son, I paddled your backside more than once. Would you like me to do so in front of everyone?
He leans down and he's showing a lot of teeth. And you don't think he's trying to get you to go back inside because he wants you to be okay? You think he has another motivation?
Step aside. I'm not going to say it again.
Not today, Granny.
Does it... Okay. I'd like to roll insight to see if he's about to attack me.
Okay.
That's 18.
If he doesn't himself, he'll put the goblins on you, you think?
Anything else I glean with an 18?
He's not going to back down on this.
Treachery. Okay. I'd like to say something like, just 1 second, I go back in the tent. I don't know how much movement I have, but I'd like to get out of the back of the tent and go around.
Okay, so once you're in the tent, you go running out the back of the tent. And as you come out the back, there's a number of other goblins sort of skulking around. Yeah, and one's like, "Where are you going, Granny?"
To take a shit. What's it to you?
"Oh, you're gonna shit all right." And they have their blades out. Kinky.
Oh no.
Okay. Do I have an action left?
Yeah, there's 2 of them. You still have your action. You've moved.
Okay. Alright, I pull out. I'm assuming I have my spellcasting with me.
Yep. Your focus?
Yeah, I grasp it.
What is Granny's focus?
It's a staff.
Her staff?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
It looks like it's about to fall to pieces. It looks like it's made of balsa wood, like old wood that's like dry rot and stuff. But it actually, you could crack someone's skull open with it. Yeah. And it has a number of impressive runes on it that mean nothing.
Okay.
But no one knows that except her. So she grasps it. She looks at these goblins.
There's 2 of them.
Yes, and she casts message, and she sends it to Zhulzuk. And okay, now here's a question. I don't know the spell well enough, but can I send a message?
You have 25 words.
Yes, but without the people around me.
And generally, you have to know which
it's
direction
just the
he's in,
person.
but I'm fine with that.
Okay.
It's just the
I'm fine
person.
with
You just have to think of the person, and it goes.
So I'm not saying it out loud.
No.
No one knows what.
Okay, so then I send treachery in the camp. Gulgag is responsible. You can respond to this message.
So that just, you're running. You can hear the wolves. You're pretty sure that not all the direwolves have gone to the gate, and you're probably being chased.
On my way. Cracked Fang coming.
TTYL.
He's fucking dead.
Best outcome. All right.
Okay, what does Rutabaga do?
Alright, so he's getting up. He's all dazed.
Oh, yeah,
and-
you know that feeling when you get the wind knocked out of you? He's like trying to get
Oh no.
he gets up. Is anyone helping him?
no, but just as you sort of regain your feet and you're
Yeah.
just about to get your breath, you hear this lone horn go.
And I'm like,
That was very good.
I hear us. I'm like, Ruck, you remember? I'm like,
It's probably about,
Yeah.
you're like, this, it's better late than never.
yeah.
Yes.
I was like, good job, Ruck. And I look up, and do I see Ruck?
As you look up to the gates, or it's
Yeah.
back to the tower?
Back to our tower that we were in.
Yeah, you look back to the tower. Ruck is just like two-handing that horn and just giving it everything he has.
All right.
Attaboy.
Like a teenager.
All right. And is there any forces around the gate?
So your scan then comes back to the gate. There were 3 hobgoblins on the gate.
Yeah.
They have jumped down, landing a little better than you did. And they're like, to the caves! To the caves! And they're trying to get as many people to go away from the gate as possible. But there's sort of this mixed confusion because you have goblins rushing to the gate, but the gate guards are abandoning their post and like yelling for people to move to the caves.
Okay. And does it look like the gate's trying to be forced open?
No.
No?
But they're burning.
But they're burning. I think I'm going to go try and touch base. I'm going to go and try and find Golgag.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you start running for the center of the camp.
Yeah.